Welcome back to the High School Star League. I am Seamus Anderson, joined by Octavian today. We are with Game 3 between Fleetwood High School against Mission San Jose.
I think this is going to all come down to the early game. Judging by the last two games that we just saw, it'll be about whether or not we're going to be able to see Mission San Jose play out the early game well enough.
Yeah, and whether or not Fleetwood High School, if they can weather that early game storm, they definitely have a chance. But so far, I do know one thing, and that is simply because we are at a Game 3 that these teams have been quite evenly matched in a lot of respects. But let me just make sure that everything is good as far as the scoreboard is concerned. And Octavian, you are spectating the game, right?
Yep.
So 3, 2, 1, on pause.
And as far as picks go, looks like we're going off of the Gragas support and back to a bit more of a conventional one.
Everything else, though, pretty similar, honestly. Or at least similar to what we've seen.
Malala got the jinx again.
Yeah, that's... I'm not sure if I agree with that. He seemed very comfortable on that champion last game.
And he's got the backup to make it work as well, even better than last time. I mean, I think that Jinx and Morgana is just an incredibly strong pairing. They lack in mobility, but that spell shield, if placed correctly, can just be so hard to work against.
Oh. So, tried and true, Mission San Jose. They are looking for the pick.
Let's
this
see
time,
if
though,
Tamashi once again rides into the enemy jungle.
Third time's a charm. Maybe this time he won't die.
Oh, look, he's going to the other side of the map. That's
good.
Probably wise at this point, but maybe we'll see stage 2 of the Catch Taimashi plan as Mission San Jose invades into the enemy jungle.
That's their entire gameplay. They have to kill Taimashi. They're looking for him, man. But they're going for those...
stop at nothing.
Yeah. These deep wards that I'm assuming they're going to place just to see if there is going to be a lane swap or any shenanigans.
Oh, that one was placed a bit too close to the turret.
That's awkward. Game over. 1 CS in favor of Pro 711. Might as well AFK. But...
Speaking of Pro 711, something interesting. Looking at his build, he's decided to go far enough into the utility tree to get those total biscuits of rejuvenation.
Interesting. I'm assuming he just doesn't want to have too hard of a time against PA. Ziggs is a very good early game bully.
That's true. And we've seen enough early game come out from Mission San Jose.
Absolutely.
That's sort of insulating yourself against that. Seems like a pretty good option.
And speaking of early game plays, once again, Milala and Komi Kuze are making the lane swap happen. This time, though, King of the Top, he didn't go down to first blood. So let's see if this plays out any different from last game.
Yeah, and they might very well be expecting it as well. They might... There's a few different options they could take here. They could try and reinforce that top lane, keep the Rumble healthy and happy. Or they could just give them up for lost and go and try and do their best to hold some other lanes to get advantages to make up for that disadvantage.
Now, though, we do see Komikaze and Kimikaze making plays happen. They're going for the blue buff steal on the top lane. I'm assuming Mission San Jose might go for the 4-man dive. In which case, I would feel terrible for King of the Top because he's had so much focus down. For good reason, too. San Jose know that he's their best solo queue star, and on one of his comfort champions, too, they want to make sure he has as little impact as possible.
They are trying to cage the Rumble Beast, and it worked very well last game. There's no reason not to try it again. They're giving up the blue buff for this, but they got a different one, so really all blue buffs are the same in the end.
They do know, we just saw the pings coming out, though. He's actually going to teleport away. That's pretty smart. Still. Summoner down.
They could have done about that, but that is, yeah, as you said, Summoner down. King of the Top might have a bit of a rough time in the 2v1 going forward without that one. Oh, Piercing Arrow doesn't connect on the PA. That's unfortunate. And with the Jinx up here in the top lane and 3 others to back her up, they might very well be getting a lot of damage onto this turret early on, as Komikaze teleports bottom lane to prevent the enemy team from doing the same.
With the teleport advantage, he might as well just go to the spot lane. He's going to be in a 2v1 situation, but the 3v1 on top is going to be much worse for Fleetwood High School's turret. It probably is going to go down with this wave. Yep, one more auto. No, the armor is actually a little bit too much, but they most likely are going to get it in this next push. And they didn't pick up a kill, but lane swap once again in favor of Mission San Jose.
So Who do you think, in terms of champions, will come out better from a lane swap, though? Komikozy on Hecarim or King of the Top on the Rumble?
Well, immediately we see he hasn't gotten a single minion. King of the Top. Yes, Rumble's the kind of champion that... Rumble, honestly, does okay in lane swap scenarios because he just needs a few core items that Haunting Guys, the Sorcerer's Boots, so that way he gets that magic pad and can do damage. However, if he's starved this hard for gold, the advantage would be in favor of the Hecarim. He's going to be going for the Trinity Force, most likely, but if he decides to just forego that and go tanky instead, then I'd say the advantage is absolutely in favor of Mission San Jose, because they know that King of the Top wants to be dealing damage on this Rumble, and he's just gotten his first minion after 5 minutes. That is a pretty good job of shutting him down early.
So it's more that the Hecarim gains the advantage because of the way that Mission San Jose played this situation.
Right.
And less because of the actual champion matchup, in quotes, since they're not actually matching up against one another.
Well, yeah, it's, I mean, in the 2v1, like, in lane swaps, it is up to the players to, and then the teams to also, you know, last hit as well. But in this situation, he was given no opportunity at all. So that is very good, Mission San Jose.
They're looking to transfer that early game advantage into an objective
and that's
as well.
Exactly
they
what they needed to.
It's perhaps a little bit risky, but the basically there's only a risk of a steal here. Taimashi might be able to take it. I don't think they'll be able to get a fight though. Oh no. That's going to be secured by Kimikaze, and actually a flash burn by Taimashi as well.
That became riskier than it should have been. I was actually going to say right before they went for the dragon that yes, they have this early advantage, but they cannot let Rumble start farming and coming back because that's what he's been doing. And they need to keep pressuring the advantages that they have. So we do see them take that dragon, although it's really close. Komikuzi getting hit. He's dead.
And he Black Shield's way too late. Komikuzi burning from the Ignite. Might go down here. Flash forward. Black Shield does not stop auto attack.
Lala does a lot of damage, but...
He has no heal. He burns the flash. Double kill for Corki. Arlight bringing his team back into the game here. Komikaze is going to be dashing forward on all 4 hooves, but does not catch up to strength.
Oh, the Ignite!
But Ignite
oh
is
my goodness.
The Prey Seeker, he dodges to the side. PA now in a 1v1 with Pro 711 in the mid lane. Takes a huge amount of damage. There are a bunch of stacks on him, but the barrier will keep him alive.
Wow, that's going to be 2 kills onto Arlight and his Cork. We've seen the Ezreal from him twice now, and we finally get to see another one of his champions. But he does go for Trinity Force champions. I guess just as far as his playstyle is concerned, he loves playing them.
He's not going the tier here, which I think is going to help Fleetwood out so much.
Yeah, especially the fact...
Not having to deal with that sort of dull spot in their roster.
Right, that's the thing. Their team has a bit of a power trough with that Varus, but the fact is that this Corki's going to immediately be going for that Trinity Force, and not only that, but he also has 2 kills over the Jinx. I'm assuming so long as they play it right, they're going to be able to bully Bilala and Komikuze quite hard, and they're going to be power spiking much, much sooner.
It remains to be seen exactly how hard they do bully, but there it goes. Starting already, the Phosphorus Bomb does get dodged out of. But Arlight is keeping him away from the minion waves. They're freezing as best they can here, even though they do have the larger wave.
A bit of a delayed push, trying to deny as many minions as they can. It's going to be interesting to see now how Mission San Jose respond. We do see Kimikaze walking around in the enemy jungle, but he's actually going to get spotted out. That being said, though, Taimashi is pretty low.
And... well, I mean, we saw the lane swap again, but it was not nearly as impactful this game. And that may be down to the flash, that may be down to the fact that King in the Top really respected them a lot more this time. He even teleported away to try and escape that. He didn't attempt to stay under the tower, and he's coming out ahead for it. He's got the CS lead, he's in the 1v1 that he loves so much, and it's working out much better for him.
Yeah, this is great for Fleetwood High School. This is the first time in the series that we've seen early dominance from them. Komikuze doesn't have
Phosphorus Bomb from Arlight does do a huge amount of damage, but Kimikaze is behind. The Lantern might be enough to save him. And it is indeed, as Kimikaze chooses to leave off chase. It definitely will not be at this point. Ziggs has not had time to get up those big items he needs. It looks like he's working on the Morellonomicon first.
Yep, Morellonomicon, fairly standard build, going to be able to provide that damage, cooldown reduction, mana regen, all these things and more that Ziggs likes. But they do force Arlight out, so he's going to lose a little bit as far as this wave is concerned. However, that's really not a problem for Fleetwood. They're just biding their time, waiting for those power spikes to happen. And once they do, they are probably going to feel absolutely comfortable to fight. I'm guessing they're definitely going to fight this next dragon because their gold, they have the gold lead. Yes, they don't have the first dragon buff, but this early in the game, that percentage multiplier isn't going to be doing as much as sheer gold and sheer stats. Oh, Milala.
Back, but the hook is down. Trank missed it earlier. Looks like they'll get a lot of damage onto the Milala anyways, though. Oh, one more rocket. But Komikuzi is body blocking as best he can. The explosion is not large enough to land. Dark Lightning just about flies over Arlight's shoulder.
Oh, man.
It's a bit more damage because of it. But Trank missing that hook. I mean, they still push metal in. They still get the lead here. They get damage on the turret. But it's got to feel so bad, because had it landed, it would have definitely been a kill. That one lands, though. He pulls Arlight over with the lantern. Another tunnel is going to be followed over. So many tunnels. This man is weaving a vast network, and it might be enough to have him escape. No, the play after Taimashi's ulti. It took a long time, but they managed to get their third kill.
Yeah, Frank had enough of his playing around with those tunnels. Am I right? Am I right? Anyway, so Dragon wasn't up. I'm sorry, Octavian. I had to at least throw it. I had to throw it at least one. That is true. But the nice thing for Mission San Jose is, yes, they lost a member, but the Dragon wasn't up yet, so no real objectives taken from Fleetwood High School. King of the Top. That's just disrespectful, man. He is not a kind king.
He is definitely not, but he is earning his regality right now. He's got a 20C as the lead after coming out from a 2v1 lane, which we saw last game he doesn't always handle well, but he certainly learned very quickly.
I don't know, man. Haven't you watched Game of Thrones? Joffrey was a pretty mean king, and he didn't end up too well, so I don't know if the top's going to be doing alright if he keeps on BMing Komikaze. For now, though, he's still in that 1v1 lane that he does love so much and is doing just fine. Both top laners have teleport up as well, and with Dragon up in 15 seconds, we might see them fight solo on the top lane, or we might see them go down to Dragon instead.
I'd expect to see the Dragon play, especially with King's teleport
well,
up.
He could potentially just go for a dive or take the turret. King of the Top, because he is so far ahead, has a lot of different options.
Yeah, and that's the way he likes it. He doesn't seem to like to sit still and just wait patiently for his farm under the turret. He likes to take what he wants.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, actually, that they've let King of the Top have Rumble every single game. I know he's not a one-trick pony, you know, he plays other champions, but I feel that Mission San Jose really didn't respect it. Speaking of not respecting, Komikaze did not respect that.
That was good coordination. They saw the pick and they lunged at it, chaining all that CC together.
Yeah, he had
there was no way out of it for Kimmy, even with flash up.
He had no idea that both Thresh and Sejuani were in the area, and that's why we didn't see him really fear the Varus ultimate coming out. That being said, it's probably going to be Dragon out. Tamashi's low. I think they can secure it.
Coming out from that Ziggs ulti.
Still tanking.
Snared up as well. Here comes Malala. He doesn't get the kill. I thought he got the Dragon. I thought that was where the type came from, but no, he just gets a kill. Well, I see he gets a double kill here. King in the top now, trapped way out of position. He goes down.
Arlight's dead.
PA gets a kill. A triple kill for the Jinx. Arlight is going to be going down to Komikaze, and they got the Dragon, but at what cost?
Wow. What a play. Mission San Jose.
They are not out of this one.
No, they are not. They're gonna be able to pick up their second turn of the game. They didn't manage to get the Dragon, but so much damage coming out of PA's digs and the dinks from Milala. This is still a very close game, but now 1,000 gold lead to Mission San Jose. That's definitely something they want, because that top lane was hurting. Their other lanes, they were doing alright. Now that
Arlight didn't have a completed Trinity Force.
Yeah, they found a perfect fight. They fought on awkward power spikes, and I mean, we just saw Komikaze, he got caught out, but the carries were still alive, and the carries do a lot of damage.
Looks like they might be able to take advantage of the swing in the mid lane here to take the turret, but against the Ziggs, that's going to be difficult.
Yeah, that's probably not going to happen.
Like, ever.
It was like, Octavian, you do realize the enemy team's playing as Ziggs, right? You really expect them to
forgotten for a blissful moment. For one blissful moment, I thought this game might end.
If only that champion weren't around.
No, it's not quite as bad as some.
Yeah.
Vladimir.
Oh, not a fan of the man in red.
I have a special distaste for some champions.
Vlad is
singular.
Yeah, that's a pretty good champion to have a distaste for. Mine is Fizz, personally, but I also play him a lot, so it's a little bit of hypocrisy.
Yeah, I would say so.
Every time I play against a Fizz, I'll laugh at how stupid he is. Every time I play as Fizz, I'll laugh at how stupid he is, so it is a double-edged sword. Anyway, back to champions in this game.
Yeah, that's probably more relevant, I would say. Trinity Force still on the horizon for Arlight here. He hasn't been able to finish that one off, despite the double kill earlier. There's actually an item power spike for Malala quicker than he got to his. He got the Infinity Edge already on the Jinx.
Ooh, Arlight gets for the binding. And the zap.
There'll be a zap as well, so
nice.
Just some poke.
Yep. Good little amount of poke coming out from this Mission San Jose bot lane. They land some more. Arlight and Trank might be in a bit of trouble, as they are sitting on that power trough, like you said. Another binding.
Ooh, connects as well, followed up by the jumpers. Arlight is not moving for a long time. Finally, he does get out of the way
Just kidding.
of Malala's ulti. And out of the way of the Ziggs ulti. Surviving just by a hair.
I think Malala probably should have just gone...
Jinx on a turret.
Yeah, that's turret definitely going to go down, but I think Malala actually could have picked up the kill there. If instead of going for the Super Mega Death Rocket, he was in auto attack range, I feel if he had just gone for the regular auto attack instead. That being said, though, we got a couple of crits, so maybe he didn't predict that. Either way, they do pick up the turret. So that is still good for Mission San Jose. They're just going to let the creeps deny it as long as they can. And PA's ultimate is down, but he has blue buff, he has Merlinomicon completed, so he's sitting on at least 30% cooldown reduction. That's going to be a pretty...
Komikuzi is landing these pretty well.
Yeah.
That one not quite as impactful as the last one we saw, but still.
Hey, 5 gold.
Good. Yeah, it's true. Oof. Pro 711 starting to hurt, though.
The Brutalizer completed. That flat armor penetration is so effective on mid lane Varus. Komikuzi Malala.
You're sitting in the bush.
Tricky. Land the binding.
Look for the binding. There's a lot of minions here, though. It's making it a bit difficult to land. Arlight is now in position for it to land, but it flies past him, no. And the hook onto Kimikaze. He's going to give Trank away over the wall, using that Rek'Sai as an escape.
Octavian, we psyched him out. As soon as you say something, it's the caster's curse. As soon as we say he's been landing so many bindings, he misses the point-blank one.
Even in a replay.
Yeah. Even in replay.
Back into the past.
Hey, man. The curse doesn't care about your timelines. The curse affects everyone everywhere. But...
doesn't seem to be affecting King in the top. He is still holding on to this lead. He's died once, admittedly, but he's got a nearly 30 CS lead over his opponent, and he is melting away Komi's health bar.
Komikuzi, again, going for the Merc Treads, then building on that Trinity Force. I don't know if perhaps going a different item path might be better, just going for a cowl immediately, then building it to the Trinity Force. Either way, it really has also been a part that just King of the Top is such an excellent Rumble player. He has done a very good job of showing Komikaze who is the boss. That being said, we saw Mission San Jose play around that last game very well when they won the game in 25 minutes. So let's see what they can do this game.
Malala just roamed by the top lane. It looked like he was looking for some sort of gank, but that's a bit odd to see the AD carry do at this point. We might be seeing something happen up here, something a little bit unorthodox if Malala does choose to commit.
He better help.
The corner through the right. Komikaze is getting into the fight here. The zap lands on the King on the top. There's the equalizer, but he's going to be going down. Komikaze gets healed. Malala survived, but Trank is here, and he's got a lot of friends in tow. Pro 711 Roman from the mid lane will be able to pick up a revenge kill.
There are 4 members in this top lane. That means Ziggs is going to have a field day in the mid lane. Trank
is down below
as well.
Komikuzi is looking for another binding here. Or perhaps not, just really buying time, maybe, to allow Paye to continue on the push that you just mentioned.
Paye now in trouble. He's going to get stunned. No, actually. Good flash.
Flash over the wall.
They don't pick up the turret.
Ultra flash trade, though, generally pretty worth it.
Yeah, especially because this dragon buff is up now. Fleetwood High School, they should try and go to contested. That being said, though, recall coming out of Teimashi means this dragon might go over to Mission San Jose for free.
And the way this fight plays, actually, at the dragon, it might not be worth it to have traded that ult for the flash, because Ziggs can stand way far back. He doesn't necessarily need the flash unless something terrible happens, but the Sejuani ult being down is just going to be so impactful, but the fight doesn't actually seem to formulate, perhaps because of that ult being missing.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Technically, in terms of timers, having the lower cooldown or wasting a cooldown for a higher cooldown on the enemy is generally the better trade. That being said, though, you're absolutely right. I mean, there's really nothing else for me to say. Sejuani needs that ultimate to impact the team fight, to get that AoE stun, and if she can't do so, you know, they're not going to be able to contest that dragon. So that is dragon number 2 over to Mission San Jose.
And the map control really in favor of Mission this game. They've got a 2-turret lead, and they're pulling ahead in terms of dragons as well. Arlight is just about hitting a power spike here with that Trinity Force completed. So maybe we see a good fight come out for Fleetwood. But it's just about even at this point, I'd say.
Yep. It's really just going to depend on who is going to hit whom and how much damage they do. Both teams have a lot of damage. Both teams have semi-immobile carries. So it's really going to be positioning in battle. I've been very impressed with the fact that both Mission San Jose and Fleetwood have been letting their team play carry top laners. They have multiple damage threads. That is really entertaining to see, and that also means that these teams have a lot of depth, which is something that you know, sometimes don't even see in LCS teams. And these are high school teams.
Ooh, half health gone from Kamikaze, and Trank is coming in to try and follow up. Doesn't quite get in range in time, though. That pony is quick.
That turret is very low, though. They're probably going to be able to pick it up. Yep.
Yeah, the lantern just to shield out a turret shot there, and Trank and King will
gold
take even more for their domain.
Gold is pretty much dead even. 500 gold at this point. Insignificant. What a close game. Close series, too. I mean, the last game was a bit of a stomp, but the first game was very, very close. And at this point, neither team has a clear advantage.
Perhaps the advantage could be said to go over to Mission San Jose simply because there's a somewhat significant gold advantage in Malala's pocket. He's got about 600 to 700 gold over the enemy AD carry right now, and that may prove impactful in one of these fights, since these AD carriers are going to be such cornerstones of their team comps.
That being said, though, Milala is at the point where Jinx recently, I think 2 or 3 patches ago, she was nerfed so that her mid game is very, very weak because her attack speed isn't going to be as strong as it could be. And Corki is an AD carry that thrives in the mid game. Yes, he is behind, but really Trinity Force and Sorcerer's Shoes, those are the 2 items that he wants, so he can do a ton of damage. It's not wrong to say that Mission San Jose have an advantage because their AD carry has so much gold. But just as far as the power spikes of each of these champions are concerned, I mean, Fleetwood High School, they would have no problem fighting right now. And honestly, 1v1, I don't know who would win between Arlight and Milala. It'd really be up to luck.
And skill shots.
Well, yeah.
If that phosphorus bomb connects, or if the chompers land particularly, we might be seeing Malala come out ahead, if that 1v1 ever does happen. But the way this game seems to be going, with both teams grouping mid and rotating around to try and keep the lanes shoved out, I don't think we'll be seeing that 1v1 happen, most likely.
Yeah, we might just see the teams go for a little farm. Like we mentioned before, it is very, very hard to siege on either side, really. Corki, Ziggs, Jinx, Ferris, all champions that provide wave clear. Oh, we talked about the 1v1.
Maybe we do.
No, but there's a Rek'Sai here. That's cheating. Oh, that's cheating.
That is cheating. The flash unburrow, but the zap is way off to the side. Heal is going to keep Arlight in safety. Right?
I disapprove of that. Come on, Milala.
But he did call in the Thresh at the last second for a lantern as well, so it was sort of even. Thresh to somewhat make up for that disadvantage.
Really well done by Kamikaze, though, to flash the Valkyrie, forcing out both summoners from Arlight.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate that that zap flew to the left, predicted incorrectly where Arlight was going to try and go.
The scumbag play, but it was the right play. However, like you said, they didn't pick up the kill. They do pick up the dragon advantage. Ooh. Okay.
Komikuzi not even pulling the trigger in the black shield.
I don't know if he had the reaction to do so in time because he didn't know it was coming, or did he? Nope. No word
Maybe he
there.
didn't. Maybe he did and he's confident. Maybe he didn't and he just didn't have the reaction.
We'll never know.
Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to say he's confident.
That's true.
He's a confident guy. He knew he could dodge it. Well, here comes the Rek'Sai ulti, and Dragon will be up in just about a minute, so that is right on time.
Speaking of Komikuzi, actually, I want to highlight the fact, look at his items. He's going for a Righteous Glory on this Morgana. Now, I actually like it a lot because their engage isn't incredibly strong. The fact that, you know, Morgana can just run at your team and go for that engage is pretty smart choice. That being said, though, if he's not going to have that Zonius, he has to be careful because he will be very squishy.
One of the nice little side effects of getting the earlier Righteous Glory against a team with a Varus on it, and a Corki as well, is that it helps you sort of survive through that poke with the health gained on level up and the mana as well. So it's a nice little side effect specifically against the team comp he's lined up against.
Yeah, he just needs to watch out as far as Morgana playstyle is concerned. You know, normally you'll see supports rush that Zonia's, and occasionally they'll rush Distortion Boost to get that flash ult to the Zonia's combo. This is going to make him need to play the style-wise a little bit differently, but you could debate that it's more beneficial to his team. 25 minutes, 30 seconds, and Dragon is up. Skill shots, man. That's been the name of the game for both these teams.
The bindings and the piercing arrows. It's just a matter of which ones land and where. Oh. Dragon getting taken down now by the side of Mission San Jose, but Trank is looking for the engage here. The black shield goes on Akumi, but he doesn't get hit by the hook. However, it looks like Komi is going to be coming in on the backside with a beautiful teleport, but he's forced to ult out. The damage is too much for him to sustain, and there is Taimashi with an ult of his own. The hail of arrows will slow down Kimikezi, but nobody's going to go on chasing. Too many health bars. Well, Pro will go on chasing, actually. 7-7 in kills now as King of the Top looks to make it 8-7. The black shield and the flash. Komikuzi
kill shots.
No chances here. Pro 7-1-1.
Just kidding.
He's there to clean it up along with.
Whoa, Milala!
Oh, flash from Milala. Here's going aggressive. I guess he trades 1 for 1, but that's shutdown to King in the Top, and he's dead when this push is happening in the mid. Ziggs has a lot of wave clear, but I don't know if it's enough.
Mission San Jose, what were they thinking? They picked up the 1 for 1, they picked up the Dragon, but then individually their members went in 1 by 1 and died. They're gonna lose turret now, yep. Down.
And the shutdown gold goes to King in the Top. I mean, he had a good time in the lane anyways, but he wasn't really, like, crushingly ahead. That is going to help so much.
Yeah, Octavian, at this point, it is a problem with, you know, non-LCS teams, and to a certain extent LCS teams too. In competitive play, how often do you get to actually practice a series? And how often do you get to play in a series that goes to multiple games, that goes like to game 3 or to game 5? I think that might have just been each of the players showing a little bit of fatigue, because that was huge individual mistakes. That being said, though, they're still only down 1,000 gold, and they do have 3 dragon buffs. So that'll balance it out a little bit more, but they need to be careful and remain grouped. Because if something like that happens again, but High School will take no problem just taking that advantage and rolling with it.
It's certainly possible to come back from that fight. In fact, there might not even be any coming back. It might be simply that the side of Fleetwood got even with that one. But you don't want to give up advantages. Komikazi is going to be giving up one in the top lane. His ult is forced, and he might be going down anyways, as Pro 7-11 is there to cut him off at the flank.
Every member of the team.
He's a horse.
Every member of the team got that. An assist or a kill on that as they sent Komikaze into the glue factory. Now Komikuze's in trouble.
Oh, hook doesn't land though.
They're going for the Baron. This is risky.
Especially against a Ziggs. That is one of the most difficult champs to pull off a Baron against.
Yeah.
And it looks like they'll peel off from it.
So Komikaze,
not a bit over-aggressive there, but they compensated.
Yeah, I mean, they picked up a pick thinking about going for the Baron, but unable to. Now they're going to try and siege. They normally would have a great siege composition, however, against Dinks, Ziggs, good luck, man. You're going to need it.
I don't think there's a siege comp in the world.
Yeah. Oh.
Unless they land a lot of poke in the PA. Oh, the hook flies out, but it was a little bit too far to the right.
Kill shots, man. Left and right.
He was trying to predict the Ziggs and didn't end up getting it.
Trank
He's actually at half health himself now, yeah.
So they, once again, what a surprise! The Ziggs successfully stops the siege.
Oof. He takes another piercing arrow to the face, though. But there's no one around to capitalize on that, so it looks like he'll just head on home back to base.
But man, Pro 711 has landed a lot of these.
Lands the ult as well, but that was a bit questionable. There was no one else there. I mean, we did see a huge follow-up on one of those earlier, but this time, huge or not, there just wasn't any follow-up.
Maybe he just wanted to let him know that he can land those whenever he wants. He's like, you know, I don't got follow-up, man, but you better watch yourself.
It's a pride thing.
Yeah.
Looks like they're going to head on home back to the mid lane where they are going to continue this push. Some aggression into the jungle as well, but that red buff is already gone.
Also, Pro 711's ultimate has a less than 60-second cooldown because he does have blue buff and so much cooldown reduction. So, or at the time he had blue buff. So just the fact that he used it really didn't matter because it's already going to be up soon. And they're going to try the siege again. Fleetwood, I don't really know about this. Yes, you have landed your skill shots, but you can take those waves down from so far away.
Yeah, it's really reliant on Pro 711 right here. Like, if he lands good piercing arrows, specifically on PA, they can make this work. But otherwise, they need a pick. They need a thresh hook to land.
And not a good piercing arrow, good piercing arrows. They need to land at least 2, probably 3, onto this Ziggs if they want to make the siege happen.
Or one hook, which is conceivably easier.
But against Morgana, it's also going to be super hard.
Yeah, it's a really good team comp that has been put together by San Jose here. They are turtling up and doing it well.
Fleetwood High School have a strong composition of their own. You know, it's focused to team fight and focused for sieging. However, I do think Mission San Jose have done a good job of countering it.
Yeah, they're just opting out of the team fights and countering the pushing, countering the siege by having more powerful push. But PA does get hit by an Electro Harpoon as well as a piercing arrow, half health.
And we've been here for a couple of minutes, I feel like.
Probably at least that. Feels like longer, but...
Oh, good hook!
Oh, hooking Malala with the Black Shield against the follow-up. Komikuzi, though, he goes down very, very low, but Trank has nobody else to go over the wall with him.
Trank. Buddy.
He was just tired of the push.
Oh, man. That reminds me of a game in solo queue where I did a situation similar to him. It was like a 60-minute game. 60-minute long game. And I was the Thresh. And I was a garbage Thresh player. And at the, you know, I just had enough because we were sieging. It was a long game. I just flashed hook, missed everything, and then died, and we lost the game. And just seeing Trank do that gave me flashbacks to that one solo queue game once upon a time. But talking about this game right now, Trank did make that misplay happen, but Mission San Jose were unable to pick up any objectives or any objective vision control around this Dragon. So it looks like Dragon might be going over to Fleetwood. However, they might look to fight it instead.
Just about down. There's the equalizer from King of the Top. It does get secured by Fleetwood. King of the Top popping into the zone to keep himself alive a little bit longer. The Flame Choppers lands very nicely. Teimashi will bring down the kill on the Kozikami.
It's close.
Komikaze with Kimikezi.
Oh,
going down. There's so many names. How do I say them all? Pro 711 gets
Ace.
down. Malala is getting hyped once again, and he plays these Jinx team fights beautifully. Another triple kill. That is the 4th of the series. Ace. For the side of Mission San Jose, they may transfer this into a Baron.
They might try to go for this Baron. I think it's going to be a little bit risky since they only have one tank. That being said, though, Malala is pretty strong, so we'll see. In that fight, though, Malala and PA, I think everyone really had a great positioning, but those two specifically managed to stay alive. Oh, the Baron!
Oh my god,
MVP.
Baron's doing more work.
They're not going to get it.
Fleetwood ever did. Malala, no, you can't handle it.
Wow, man, that's a little harsh.
Handle that Baron.
Fleetwood got close. Softened them up so Baron could take them down. But that's not any objectives after that one team fight. Now, King at the Top, they might actually go for this Baron. But if that's the case, there are 3 members from Mission San Jose still alive. Oh my god. Octavian, they're doing it.
The closest tunnel is
don't try this at home, kids.
Teimashi is here. They don't have Corki or Varus yet, though, so the thing is not losing very many hit points. Here comes Alright. Because he's just going to speed his way out of there, though.
Move
4
away.
Hooves is better than 2 Jets.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Alright, good.
Teimashi is waiting in the bush, though. He wants some revenge for all those times that he walked into a bush.
wasn't on a ward, so he might have been able to get it, but first sniff that out. Trinity Force and Spirit Massage completed for Komikaze now, so he is relevant, actually has even CS compared to King of the Top, even though he did have a hard time in lane. That's good for him to come back in that sense. But with only a 2,000 gold lead, that is still not a definitive advantage for Mission San Jose. Yes, and they have the Dragon buff, and yes, they have the gold lead, and yes, they have a pretty good comp to counter it, but if I were a betting man, I'd still only say like 60 to 40 odds.
But 60 to 40 is not too terrible.
No, I mean...
It's only a little worse than half and half, and I think with PA in their back pocket, they can pull that out. PA has been doing incredibly well this game. We haven't really highlighted that enough, because he's been playing... Well, he's Ziggs. He's been playing kind of passively, but he's 2-0-9. He's got the Death Cap and the Ludens. He's gonna hurt, and he's got a blue buff to back it up.
Yeah, he has played fantastic so far. Hasn't died at all. He's the only person in the game who actually has managed to make that happen. Hopefully I don't jinx it and he dies immediately, but instead, King of the Top. Oh, the Lantern is still up.
But the Lantern will not time out. He manages to escape there.
Lantern stays up for a long time. That's scary, though. Because right skill shot lands.
It's not a huge cooldown, but it's something. I might be able to make something happen with that. Hook onto Komikaze, but not going to be followed up. Was fishing for the jinx, but caught a horse instead.
The right skill shot lands!
Oh, good lord! The follow-up is there from as far away as they need it to be.
Man, I love these
You're
teams.
Half health and you get hit by a binding.
Yeah, this is so fun, but this must be so stressful to play as. Because you get hit one time and you're dead.
Komikaze is going to be flashing out of that one, the Black Shield, keeping them alive for a bit longer as Trank doesn't have a shield for himself. Komikaze, though, standing on the red carpet, but he is tanky. He doesn't seem to mind. He can take the heat. He will be in the kitchen as long as he wants to.
Ilala's really strong right now.
Yeah, and he's bringing it to bear on that inhibitor turret. It's getting melted away. He is spell immune, but he is not damage immune. Malala, back up a little bit. King in the Top is coming in to try and show him the error of his ways, but he's overheated, and Malala will escape.
After all said and done, that middle inhibitor turret is going to be very, very low, and now a 4,000 gold advantage to Mission San Jose. Malala needs to be careful, but they do manage to land, you know, just a few skill shots. This really has been a game of inches. Just a couple of pixels off for one team wins the fight. A couple of pixels off for one team manages to make the pick happen. Trank, we saw him actually land a skill shot and get a little bit baited once again. Honestly, I'm not sure how comfortable he is with Thresh and how much he knows about the limits of his champion, but we've seen him get caught a couple of times. I really like...
Perhaps it's less the Thresh specifically, and it's more the Thresh versus Morgana matchup. He's not...
Yeah.
He's not respecting the Black Shield enough, and he's going in on targets who are even shielded up. Like he's doing it once again. There's the Varus ulti burned, and Trank isn't able to flay him back.
Yeah, you can't catch a tanky member of the enemy team with an escape next to your enemy's Morgana. Like, I really don't like the fact that they committed to the Varus ultimate, and that you saw Trank take the Q.
They need to find some way to get that Black Shield down before Trank lands a hook, because Trank is going in on all of these hooks. He just sees red when those connect. So if the rest of his team can do something to make it so that'll work, that'll be great for him.
Right. What they should do is they should just hit the Q, Morgana's in the area, bait out the Black Shield, and then go in. Hit the Q again, or just engage with Sejuani.
If you land the hook, it is a much shorter cooldown than the Black Shield.
Exactly. It's not as if they're lacking in engage. They just need to make sure that they can bait out the shield one time and not engage on top of it, because otherwise we'll see situations like at that inhibitor turret before, Sejuani ultimate onto one member, and guess what? That member was Black Shielded.
Yeah, and next to their secondary turret in the mid lane, when they were doing that everlasting push, it was a hook onto a Black Shielded enemy that stopped the push, that gave them not so much a disadvantage, but dissipated their advantage, and they really need to respect this Morgana more.
They really do, and all credit to Komikaze. He's had a really good game, 0-3-12. Just Mission San Jose in general, I feel like they have played very well as a team, as a unit. At least 4 of them have been involved in over 10 of the kills that their team has. They're going for this dragon.
Oh, doesn't quite get stolen away. That will be taken down by Kinikezi as the equalizer drops in a bit of an awkward spot. King in the top, forced into the zone. He's going to be going down here. Malala is unstoppable, and he's got that extra speed. He's going to easily be able to chase the remainder of the enemy team down. Trank rather, will be the sacrificial lamb on the platter of Malala's machine gun.
Now, this middle...
Dragon and 2 kills.
Yeah, middle turret is down. If they're going to go for the Baron instead, that might be the better call. They will decide to go for this. There is hardly any real... Yeah, there's no way that Fleetwood High School is going to be able to contest this. So Mission San Jose High School, they're going to be up over 6,000 gold in this game.
And their team comp is just better at this point. The Varus is not going to be as strong as PA Ziggs is in a team fight, and nowhere near as strong as Malala will be. The Corki versus Jinx matchup, as you go past the 40-minute mark, which we are just about approaching, is so heavily in favor of Jinx.
Yeah, and just the fact that he's this far ahead. You saw how much the crits do. Crits doing over 1,000 damage. He's going to be able to buy that QSS now, so not only does he have the protection of the Black Shield, but also has peel for himself just in case things go wrong, and another Aegis of the Legion being worked on for Mission San Jose. I have been so impressed with their team play.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Quicksilver Sash just makes so much sense right now because there's really only one thing that can shut him down, and if he positions correctly, and that is a Thresh Hook connecting. They have so much insurance against that, it basically doesn't exist at this point. Trank has to get through the Black Shield and a Quicksilver Sash, which means potentially 3 hooks have to land before one of those hooks matters.
Yeah, Fleetwood High School now, they really need to line these up, otherwise they are going down. Komikuzi gets caught.
He's going to be going in on it, but this time the Black Shield is not enough, even if it came out. He died so quickly. Trank finally getting a hook that really worked for him.
Yeah, that being said though, what can they take now? 6,000 gold behind, you get a pick onto the enemy support, but your waves are all pushing against you. Both Dragon and Baron are gone. A bit of a misplay from Komikuze. You know, he doesn't have the Zonias. He can't play so aggressively, especially when his team isn't around. But still, Mission San Jose High School have the advantage. The only thing Fleetwood got for that is they get to stall the Baron timer a little.
Clear a few of their jungle camps, get a bit more gold, but at this point that's not really going to matter as much. It's so much more about who dies and when than it is about farm or gold or anything like that anymore.
At this point in the game, the timers are going to be pretty long, 40, 50 seconds, if not longer. You really, really want to catch Milala or PA out if you're Fleetwood High School, but they have just positioned so effectively, and we've seen so much peel and support from the rest of the members of Mission San Jose that I don't know if Fleetwood High School can make that pick happen. You know, they have multiple forms of crowd control, but they're all based on skill shots, and that makes it such a tough composition to play as the game goes on.
I'm a little bit surprised at Trank's item... Well, actually, no, doesn't look like he's going to fall up on the hook, but I am a little bit surprised at Trank's item choice here. He's gone with the Spirit Visage, which is quite good against the amount of AP he's facing off against, but it's a little bit selfish, and on top of it, it's delayed. A lot of Threshes, as they go later into the game, and we are definitely later into the game, like to start with the Relic Shield and then turn that into the coins so that they can get the speed buff later on in the game. And he's still sitting on a Relic Shield from back in laning phase, and that is not helping at all at this point. That health is basically irrelevant, and he's never getting the stacks off, and even when he does, it's 40, 50 HP. That doesn't matter.
Yeah, and also the Spirit Visage, it's not as if Thresh has much self-healing. Yes, he has the Righteous Glory, but he doesn't really get great use of the passive. On the flip side...
I would say perhaps an Aegis, but there is a Aegis on Taimachi already. Maybe better to have the Aegis on Trank, and then... Yeah. Whoa, Malala is godlike!
And before that was going to happen, I was going to say, on the flip side, we see the Banner of Command coming out of Komikuze. I love that pickup, because that just means that they can keep sieging, and they're going to have pressure around the other lanes without having super minions up already. And we saw Trank going down again. Now, Fleetwood High School, they made some mistakes as a team. I don't really want to be like too critical of one player, but Trank has had a pretty rough series. Trank.
It might just be that fatigue that you're talking about earlier. Not used to playing best of 3 scenarios. Not used to having to spend 2-3 hours in this sort of stressful environment, honestly.
Yeah, it is pretty big toll on the players when you're playing for, you know, tens of thousands of dollars. These are the best teams in the country, and the pressure really has gotten high. As a high school student, can you imagine being like, out of thousands of teams, you're one of the top 16 teams in the country? Like, even now I couldn't imagine that kind of pressure. That must be crazy. But
And PA is handling it incredibly well.
Yes, he is.
3-0-13. Guy still hasn't died. He's finished a Void Staff at this point. Needlessly large on top of that. Probably going into his zone, yes. I wouldn't be surprised. He could use a defensive item at this point.
yeah, you know, I generally like to go Lichbane actually instead, because it does give you extra turret pushing power, but just to be safe, if he ever gets engaged on, he wants to have that zone. I really don't think he'd ever use it, honestly, just because he has had such traditionally good positioning.
Well, even against the poke, it's valuable because there's just so much AD.
That's true. That being said, though, he went for the NLR first. He didn't go that Seeker's Arm Guard, but at this point, probably not going to matter that much. Dragon. This would be Dragon number 5 for Mission San Jose High School. And this would be Dragon number 3 for Fleetwood. So obviously Fleetwood are going to try and stop this from happening. They have the crab. That's good, but Temashi...
Oh no, that's followed up by the snare as well, but Kamikuze gets stunned up alongside Kimikezi. But Trank is going way too aggressive again. Malala is legendary. He gets the reset. Here comes Arlight, but he is way too deep. Malala still has all his health. I don't know what Arlight was looking to accomplish there, but it certainly wasn't crashing and burning into the ground like that. The binding, once again, the beginning of this fight and the end of it. Taimashi getting snared up, and Taimashi going very,
and that
very
might
well.
just be game. We did see the surrender last game. Malala can't get the ace. He's got it.
And he looks to get another one. Ro117 will go down to a crit.
Malala's Jinx. For any other team in the High School Star League, you might want to ban this guy's Jinx. He has performed on it.
Yeah, he is really, really good at the team fighting on Jinx, using that passive to its maximum potential.
There we go.
Rockets as well. That will be the surrender. GG to both teams.
So after a best-of-3 series, Mission San Jose are going to take it. They're going to move on to the round of 8 in the High Star League. We are done for tonight, guys, but we will be back tomorrow night. Not sure what time yet, but we're going to have more HSL games for you, so look forward to that. As for your casters, I have been Seamoose. You can follow me at Seamoose1 on Twitter if you'd like. Talk to me about the game, talk to me about life, talk to me about anything really, but also please follow my co-caster, whatever social media he has.
My name is Octavian. You can find me at OctavianZilch on Twitter if you are so inclined. And it's been a pleasure casting with you, Seamus.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, please also, of course, don't forget to follow our social media for HSL Star League. That's HSL Star League on Facebook as well as Twitter, and then High School Star League for YouTube. And of course, as always, thank you very much to our sponsors, Twitch, Tespo, Loot Crate, Newegg, Rockhat, MSI, and Jinx for providing all the support. Without them, we could not have the show we have today. But for now, guys, we're going to be wrapping it up. We will see you all tomorrow with more games.